The screams pierced the air like a blade. Neighbors rushed to their fences, their hearts pounding, only to freeze in place. The pond behind Sophia Turner's home had erupted into chaos, and at the center was her. Just moments earlier, Sophia had stepped into the water with her pet alligator, Blast, a routine evening swim. But within seconds, it turned into a deadly struggle. Who was she? Why did a grown woman keep an 8-foot apex predator as a companion? And what snapped in that one horrifying moment? This is the haunting true story of Sophia Turner, the woman who believed she could bridge the gap between human and reptile. A fearless animal rehabilitator raised in the swamps of Louisiana, she earned the nickname the Reptile Whisperer by handling venomous snakes, injured gators, and misunderstood creatures with a calm, almost mystical confidence. But her greatest success rescuing and raising an alligator hatchling named Blast would become her greatest and final mistake. On June 15th, 2024, after 4 years of living, swimming, and bonding with the animal she considered family, Sophia was attacked, dragged under, and killed in a matter of minutes. This video isn't just about a tragic death. It's about trust, denial, instinct, and the fatal illusion that love can tame nature. We'll reveal never-before-heard journal entries, expert warnings she ignored, and the moment captured on video that sealed her fate. Before we dive in, hit that like button and subscribe to Animal Ambition and Encounters for more shocking, true wildlife stories. Because what happened to Sophia Turner isn't just a tragedy, it's a chilling lesson for anyone who believes the wild can ever be truly tamed. Lizards Sophia was outside, barefoot in the grass, gently handling creatures most people ran from. Born and raised in the heart of Louisiana's swamplands, her love for reptiles ran deeper than fascination. It was in her blood. Her father, Marcus Turner, was a well-known wildlife rehabilitator. Their backyard was home to rescue cages, rehab tanks, and animals in every stage of healing. From a young age, Sophia was right there beside him, learning, watching, helping. By age 10, she could identify venomous snakes on sight. By 14, she was helping relocate aggressive gators from residential areas. She wasn't just brave, she was gifted. Her family called her the Gator Girl. Neighbors called when they spotted snakes or injured turtles. Wildlife officers requested her help on dangerous rescues. It was as if reptiles sensed something different in her. She moved with calm, purpose, and a strange, unspoken understanding. Sophia's connection with animals wasn't just skill, it was emotional. Her mother used to joke that Sophia could speak reptile better than she spoke human, but that deep empathy was a double-edged sword. After graduating high school, she studied wildlife biology, but the classroom couldn't teach her what the swamp already had. Summers were spent in the field, working with seasoned herpetologists, assisting with dangerous captures, and logging hours of hands-on rehab work. Her professors praised her instincts, but warned her of a critical flaw: she often anthropomorphized reptiles, projecting human emotions onto animals driven by survival, not sentiment. But Sophia disagreed. She believed that every animal, no matter how feared, had a personality, a soul, even a capacity for trust. Her goal was simple: show the world that reptiles weren't monsters. That belief drove everything she did. She poured her inheritance into building a private rescue facility, complete with heated snake rooms, outdoor enclosures, and eventually, ponds. One pond in particular would change everything. Her name began circulating online as her videos went viral: snake rescues, gator feeding, educational talks in schools. But while the internet saw a fearless animal whisperer, those close to her saw something else, a woman so emotionally invested in reptiles that she no longer saw the line between love and danger. The call came on a rainy morning. A construction crew had found a hatchling alligator badly injured, wedged under a collapsed pipe. He had multiple fractures, deep wounds, and was barely breathing. Most would have euthanized him immediately, but not Sophia. When she arrived on site, she saw something in the little gator's resilience. He hissed weakly, trying to snap. Despite his injuries, "This one's a fighter," the foreman muttered, impressed. Sophia wrapped him gently in towels, loaded him into a portable tank, and took him home. She named him Blast. From day one, he was different. Sophia converted her spare bedroom into a Gator recovery suite. Heat lamps, filtered tanks, modified ramps, everything Blast needed, she built herself. For weeks, she fed him by hand, changed his bandages, and talked to him like he could understand. Her best friend Rebecca joked it was like watching a mother with a newborn. But the connection didn't seem one-sided. Blast began responding to her voice. He tracked her movements in the room. He stopped hissing when she spoke. Sophia saw this as proof of trust. Experts, however, warned her to be careful. "They don't love," herpetologist Dr. Patterson told her during a visit. "He associates you with food and safety. That's not affection. That's programming." But Sophia wouldn't hear it. She pointed to how Blast would calm when she entered, how he'd float closer when she approached. "He knows me," she insisted. "It's not just instinct. He chooses me." As he grew stronger, Blast's personality became clearer, territorial, aggressive, smart. By his first birthday, he was 3 feet long and gaining weight fast. Most would have released him by then. Sophia didn't. Instead, she applied for permits to keep him permanently. She hired contractors to dig a large pond on her land, a private paradise just for Blast. Every evening, Sophia swam with him. To outsiders, it looked magically like a nature documentary, but friends began to worry. Blast was getting big. His eyes, once curious, were starting to look calculating, and Sophia, she saw none of it. To her, Blast was more than a rescue. He was family. By Blast's 4th year, he was no longer the small, injured hatchling Sophia had rescued. He was now a full-grown, apex predator, 8 feet long, over 100 pounds, with jaws strong enough to crush bone. But to Sophia, he was still her baby. Others weren't so sure. Sophia's father, Marcus, was the first to raise a red flag. "He's getting territorial," he warned during a visit. "That's not the same animal you rescued. He's watching you differently, testing boundaries." Sophia shrugged it off. "He's just maturing," she said. "He knows I'm not a threat." But those closest to her noticed the shift. Blast's behavior was changing. He began bellowing more often, deep, thunderous roars that signaled dominance. His feeding habits turned violent. Instead of gliding up for food, he lunged, snapping with force. And around visitors, his body language became defensive. He would position himself between them and Sophia. He was claiming her. Experts would later say. Dr. Amanda Price, a local herpetologist, visited the sanctuary and immediately took notes. Blast gaped, frequently holding his mouth open while watching people. In wild alligators, that's a threat display. He also performed mock charges forward, then stopping inches short of the edge. It was only a matter of time. "He's asserting dominance," Dr. Price warned, "and he sees Sophia as part of his territory." This isn't trust. It's tolerance, and it has limits. Sophia refused to believe it. You don't understand him like I do, she insisted. He's never once hurt me. But behind her public confidence, cracks were forming. Her journal entries, found after her death, revealed growing doubt. He's been different lately, she wrote. Less responsive to my voice. More aggressive. During feeding. But I still believe in him. He's not a monster. 2 weeks before the attack, neighbor Tom Richardson had a close call. While trimming hedges near the pond, his electric trimmer slipped into the water. The splash triggered blast. The Gator launched forward, jaws wide, in full predatory mode. If that had been me, Richardson told investigators later, I'd be dead. Sophia rushed outside, shouting commands. It took 10 minutes to calm him. Even then, Blast circled the shallow end, agitated eyes locked on the man standing nearby. Friends began pulling away. Rebecca noticed Sophia becoming more isolated, more defensive, and more obsessive. She spent nearly every evening alone with Blast. It's like she didn't trust people anymore, only him, Rebecca said. But the most chilling clue was found. In a journal entry dated just 3 days before her death. Had another nightmare, Sophia wrote. Blast didn't recognize me, just stared at me like I was food. Woke up terrified. Keep telling myself it's stress, but something feels off. Our swim tonight will prove everything's fine. It always does. Only this time, it wouldn't. June 15th began like any other day. Sophia spent the afternoon responding to emails, filming short clips of her reptiles, and updating her social media. By evening, the sun hung low, painting the sky orange. She changed into her usual blue swimsuit, grabbed a towel, and walked toward the pond ready for her ritual evening swim. Blast was already in the water, floating still near the center. Just his eyes and snout peeked above the surface. It was a position Sophia had seen thousands of times. To her, it meant he was relaxed. Hey there, big guy, she called out, her voice light, ready for a swim. She dipped her foot and tested the water, then eased herself in up to her waist. The pond was calm. The air was warm. Everything felt normal, but Blast wasn't. Sophia didn't notice the subtle change in his posture, how his body was more horizontal, ready to launch. She didn't notice the fixed intensity in his eyes, or the way his breathing had slowed into a calculated rhythm. To her, he was just waiting for her usual call. Come here, boy, she said gently, extending her arm their signal at exactly 7:23 p.m. Blast erupted from the water. With terrifying speed, he launched forward like a torpedo. His jaws clamped down on Sophia's left arm with over 2,000 pounds of pressure. The impact was so sudden, she didn't have time to scream. Pain exploded through her body. The shock left her frozen. Then he dragged her under. Neighbors heard the splash and the thrashing. Tom Richardson was on his porch when he saw the water churn violently. It was like a washing machine, he later said. I knew instantly it was bad. I called 911 and ran. Sophia never resurfaced. What followed was one of nature's most brutal tactics, the death roll. Blast spun with violent force, his massive body twisting in the water, ripping tendons, dislocating joints, and crushing bones. Blood clouded the pond. Sophia's struggle grew weaker, then stopped by the time first responders arrived 6 minutes later. The scene was eerily silent. Blast floated near the far edge of the pond, blood on his snout. Sophia was gone. Rescuers couldn't enter, the water blast was still active and aggressive. They watched helplessly for 12 minutes, unable to intervene. When the water finally stilled and blast moved away, it was too late. Sophia's body was recovered hours later, broken and lifeless. The woman who believed love could tame instinct had learned the truth. In the most horrifying way possible, Sophia Turner's death sent shockwaves far beyond Louisiana. News outlets ran headlines about the Gator attack that shocked the nation. Social media exploded. Some called it a tragic accident. Others called it inevitable. Wildlife officials launched an immediate investigation. The medical examiner confirmed the cause of death: asphyxiation from drowning, meaning Sophia had survived the initial bite and death roll, only to die underwater in blast's grip. The hardest question came next: what to do with Blast? Some officials argued for euthanasia. "The animal is too dangerous," said one county commissioner. "He killed a human." But others, including Sophia's closest friends, pushed back. "He's not a monster," Rebecca Martinez said during a public hearing. "He's just an alligator." Sophia knew the risks. She wouldn't want him destroyed. Eventually, Blast was relocated to a wildlife sanctuary in Texas. He would live the rest of his life in isolation. No humans, no swimming partners, no more second chances. The tragedy sparked a national debate about exotic pet ownership and the illusion of taming wild animals. Animal rights activists used Sophia's death as a warning. Love cannot erase millions of years of evolution. Gators aren't pets, they're predators. But the story didn't end in outrage, it evolved into legacy. Marcus Turner and Sophia's colleagues launched the Sophia Turner Memorial Foundation, dedicated to wildlife safety, education, and responsible animal care. They created training programs for handlers, scholarships for wildlife biology students, and protocols for evaluating exotic animal behavior. Sophia's case was added to university curricula. Wildlife and psychology courses examined her choices, not to condemn, but to learn. Her story became a cautionary tale, reminding others of the fine line between connection and control. Her sanctuary was dismantled. The pond was drained and filled in. In its place now blooms a memorial garden. A plaque sits near the entrance, engraved with her words: "We must love wildlife enough to let them be wild." Sophia Turner's life was filled with purpose. Her death, heartbreaking and brutal, was a lesson written in water, instinct, and love. The best way to honor her memory is to remember the truth she didn't live long enough to accept. Wild never means safe, and trust does not tame instinct. Thank you for watching. If this story moved you, please like and subscribe to Animal Ambition and Encounters. And remember, respect the wild, always.